Unable to bear the loneliness, the man set his sights on a beautiful woman in hibernation. He deliberately damaged her hibernation pod, causing the girl to wake up 90 years early. When she learned that she couldn't re-enter hibernation, she was devastated, knowing that she would grow old and die on the journey to the new colony. But what she learned from the robot bartender shattered her even more. The person who woke her up was her own boyfriend. Realizing the truth, the girl could barely walk, stumbling back to her room, not knowing that the man would soon face her wrath. That night, Aurora Lane suddenly appeared in his room, kicking and punching Jim, but even that wasn't enough to calm her anger. She grabbed a hammer, ready to smash him to death, but Jim spread his arms, welcoming death. In the end, Aurora Lane couldn't go through with it. Killing him wouldn't change anything. She stormed out, furious. Jim, realizing his mistake, went to the broadcast room to beg for Aurora Lane's forgiveness.
I don't care what you want me up! You took my life!
From then on, the two went from being a loving couple to strangers who knew each other all too well, but they didn't know that the spaceship was already malfunctioning, and it wouldn't be long before it would crash in space. As Jim took the elevator, it suddenly shook violently, getting stuck in place. Jim quickly pried the elevator doors open to try to climb out, but the next moment, the elevator resumed operation, almost cutting him in half. Meanwhile, Aurora Lane, who was ordering food, experienced something bizarre. Her once luxurious breakfast suddenly spewed out a pile of soybeans. At that moment, a voice echoed through the central hall. It turned out the captain had woken up. When he saw that two passengers were also awake, the captain immediately realized the severity of the situation. He hurried to the control room to inspect the entire spaceship, only to find that the malfunction data was missing. With no other choice, he began manually checking for problems. He decided to start with the hibernation pods.
Well, that should be interesting.
After inspecting both hibernation pods, the captain immediately identified the issue. Jim's pod had malfunctioned due to a burned chip, causing him to wake up, but Aurora Lane's pod was deliberately tampered with. Jim admitted he was responsible, but now wasn't the time to hold him accountable. The priority was to fix the spaceship. Aurora Lane was furious, feeling that Jim had robbed her of her life, which was akin to murder.
You're right, Aurora. But the drowning man was trying to drag somebody down with him.
As they argued, Jim walked in with a broken cleaning robot, the 16th one to malfunction. Before the captain could speak, he started coughing. Seeing that the captain hadn't fully recovered from hibernation, Aurora Lane suggested he rest for a few hours. But when the captain returned to his room, he coughed up blood. Meanwhile, Aurora Lane, who was swimming,